Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nyliff podcast. This is now the 6th episode. I can't believe that.
Nice.
And thank you. Today we have Glenn Mcbride Jr. Another Nyliff meeting.
That's how I met you and the Casual crew and everybody else.
Right. And now you're a very prolific, I guess is the word.
Okay.
You do a lot of different films, a lot of different genres. Recently, I saw comedy as a strong suit of yours. To start things off, I'm curious when and how you got into this business, and how'd you get to where you are right now?
As a kid, I was always into Hollywood and television shows. I loved watching Entertainment Tonight as a kid or Access Hollywood, but it was until I saw Eddie Murphy, Robert Townsend, and Keenan Wayans, and I was like, oh wow, these are guys that were writing, directing, and producing their own stuff. I saw Keenan Wayans, who plays brothers in Living Color, Robert Townsend. I was like, okay. I said I want to do that, and then I started, make my little home movies at the house. We lived in the Bronx at the time, so I would make my little home movies, and then we moved to Long Island. Then my dad and my parents started their own church, and they had a church at the Holiday Inn on exit 56, and they will rent out the conference room. Every third Sunday was Youth Sunday, and that was the Sunday I could write my sketches for the church and stuff like that, and my stage plays, and that's when I learned how to write, direct, produce, and then that gradually sort of got better and better, and then I went to film school later on, and then I was like, this is my passion.
You went to film school?
Yeah, I went to the Art Institute in New York City.
Okay, so you knew what you wanted to do early on, and now did you ever dabble in stand-up comedy?
I did it once in my classroom. I did really good. And I was gonna pursue it, but I was like, I gotta do this every day. And I was like, that's tough. I still want to do it. People ask me all the time, you should try it. I may one day try it, you know what I'm saying? But I think, I feel more comfortable with the film part, because with stand-up, you go up there, you tell your jokes, and it's done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With filming, you film it, you put it together, you can show everybody, you can take it around and stuff like that. So I like, I love comedy, but I love the movie stuff more.
Yeah, so. Stand-up comedy is it's a tough game. I did it a couple of times.
Okay.
And I always felt that it's your most naked. In front of an audience. I mean, you are out there being you, trying to make an audience laugh.
Exactly.
Not writing a script where you're hiding behind a character or you're behind the camera directing or doing anything like that. And I give people a lot of credit. Yeah. But I do find that sometimes they make the best actors. A lot of stand-up comics, and I saw that in your film, especially most recently, Stall Buddies. I saw that aspect in you. But you're right. It is something like anything. You have to do it every day.
You have to have a passion for it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody I work with are mostly stand-up comedians. My friends are stand-up comics. Even like the guys in Stall Buddies. My upcoming movie I'm working on, The Come Up. My friend Eugene T. Barnes, he's a stand-up comic, which I met him. I was asked to judge a comedy show, and I saw him perform like that guy's a star. And I'm going back and forth in the judges. I'm going, that guy right there, he has it. Right. And that was like maybe 6 years ago, and I kept telling them, like, we're gonna work together one day, and then we finally working together. So a lot of my friends are stand-up comics, so I live through them. So
you bring up an interesting point. I know we talked before the cameras were rolling, but saying like he's got it.
Right.
It's an interesting expression because he's got it or she's got it is never a guarantee.
Right. Yeah.
And then you see people that made it, and you're like, wow, that guy, there is a presence there, and you go, do I have that?
Right.
Does the person that I say, oh, he's got it, do they have that? And recently I was watching the other night Bullets Over Broadway.
Oh, okay.
And I bring this up because movies have changed a lot. And there's flaws in that movie. There's a major plot hole in it.
Right.
That I looked at, and I was like, I think we've become very critical in our in this current climate, where we used to just go and watch it. Because I remember seeing that movie years ago, and I didn't critique it in the same way. And now I'm looking at it, and I'm going, but I was watching Chaz, and he definitely has a presence,
right?
And I go, okay, he came from nothing like us. He wrote A Bronx Tale. His tale is a very interesting one. You guys can all look it up and see where Chaz came from. But he definitely has that presence when he walks into the scene.
Yeah, a lot of guys have
there's something there.
Yeah.
And I go, is that something that Hollywood enhances?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we all make films and we watch them and they're good, but it doesn't have that Hollywood grab you feel.
I mean,
and I sometimes wonder, is it? I don't know if you follow what I'm saying. It's
like,
I
get what you said. Yeah.
How does that get there? Is it just the production value of these films, or is there that it factor that actually is what you need?
I think I think people have it from the beginning. I think you just have to gradually get better and better, and your time will come. It's like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, I watched stuff when he was young doing stand-up. He always had it, but it wasn't until he got on Saturday Night Live, and people were like, whoa, who is this guy? But during that time, everybody around Eddie was like, he's the one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes Hollywood's late.
It's like Stallone in Rocky. He's in the first Rocky. He's puffy.
Yeah.
He's not.
It's not the guy you think is going to be a global icon. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he became this like icon, this like god.
Right.
The way he looked, the way he, everything was just kicked up a notch.
Yeah, I think it helped. I think success does help, but it's like even with Stallone, Hollywood didn't believe in him. Like, no, we want someone else to play Rocky. He's like, no, this is me. And I think all of us have that. It's going to have that one shot where we have to just knock out the ballpark and prove everybody wrong. They're like, oh wow, he has it. No, he always had it.
Right.
You're just late to the party. He always had. Oh, she has it. You guys are just late to the party. You know what I'm saying? So.
And that's another expression, that we want to prove everybody wrong. We want to make it and say that we got there.
Exactly.
And I think that's another thing that there's no guarantee of. And I always say, if you go through your whole life and don't make it, you still proved everybody wrong because you did it. Like, you're making films. I look, through your IMDb, you've done quite a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, and I think people have to find that encouragement in themselves and realize that it's not just about the paycheck. Or I mean,
yeah.
We were talking, like I said, before the camera, and you're saying how you're going to get there. You know you're going to get there, but where is it that we want to get?
Yeah, I mean that's interesting because I was watching a movie. Oh man, it's a Pixar movie. I think it's called Soul with Jamie Foxx. It's an animated movie. He plays this jazz musician that wants to make it, whatever, and stuff. That he's struggling. He finally gets his opportunity and he knocks out the ballpark and he thinks his life is going to change. And he's like, what now? They're like, well, we do it tomorrow. And he's kind of like, now what? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think that's what it is. It's like, I think once we get there, then we're like, now what? You know what I'm saying? We lived our whole life to get to that moment. And then when we have it, it's like, now what do I do? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think during those times of grinding and focus, you have to find a spiritual ground and a family and stuff, and love, because through the ups and downs, you need something that's going to ground you and keep you happy. And fame and fortune, and I have awards and stuff like that. I remember I wanted film awards. Now I have 15. I'm going, now what?
Right.
Now what I do? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think even with us as filmmakers, we have to look for a new mountain to climb. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did this project. That's great. I need to find something else to do. You know what I'm saying? I think we're always looking for like a mountain to climb. So after the awards and money, we just want to be challenged and just, with passionate projects that we're passionate about. And that's about it. You know what I'm saying? I would love to, make money and stuff like that with my films, but it's not happening that way. So until then, if it doesn't happen, fine. I'm really proud with the movies I made. I'm proud with the relationships that I've made through you and through Nyliff and all my friends from Long Island. And if I don't make it as a celebrity, I'm fine with that. It's like, I had to let that go. I think we were talking about that in the house.
Mm-hmm.
When I turned 40, I was like, this whole fame thing is done. I just want to be the best actor, the best filmmaker, and I just want to just have fun, and I just want to have meaningful relationships. And if I make it, don't. If I do, my goal is if I do make it, everybody that I've met, I want to bring with me. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like Adam Sandler or Seth Rogen, those type of guys. But Adam Sandler, his roommates from NYU are part of his film company.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want. Yeah.
I remember growing up and going to see the Pink Panther and then Indiana Jones when Indiana Jones came out, and you literally, I don't know if everybody does it, but people in this industry, we see ourselves in that role.
Yeah. Movies,
we can actually visualize ourselves doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that creates a little bit of frustration because it's so hard to get into this business, let alone become a character like Indiana Jones. But we kind of convince ourselves.
Right.
Did you ever walk out of a movie theater when you were young and you feel like the character?
Yeah.
Your walk, your behavior.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not everybody.
Yeah.
Some people go to the movies, like, oh, that was nice, and they go to the diner and have some French fries and they forget about it. But I was that person that would stay with me.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. Because it gives you this sense that, like you said, we had to sort of put that behind us and say, all right, we're not going to necessarily be a movie star.
Right.
You know, it's like being the age that I'm at now, which I'm not going to say. You know, we just both had birthdays, so happy birthday.
I'm 41. I just turned 41.
And I wish I was saying the same thing.
I got you.
But I remember baseball. Baseball is a perfect analogy because when I was a kid, I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player.
Got you.
I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a baseball
player. Yeah, at the one time.
Yeah, and there came an age where I think I was 21, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to join. I joined the Stand Musial League. I tried out for it. I made the team.
Got you.
I played for half the season, and then I had a serious injury.
Oh wow!
Hurt my knee in a collision, and it sort of took away that. But a few years later, I started to feel good again, and now you're pushing 25, and in your head you're going, well, there's 25-year-old rookies.
Right.
So you still have a shot.
Right.
In your head.
Right.
When you're 30, you're going, well, there's guys that have been taken up from the minors, and that, even though you're not doing it in your head,
you're still
that shot still lives.
Yeah, I think that's with all of us. You know what I'm saying?
But when you hit a certain age, you go, there's nobody playing baseball who's 45.
Right.
It's over.
Right.
And you kind of have to accept it. And it's not negative, it's just it's accepting it.
It's not over of your life. It's just like this part of my life is done.
Right.
And, I have to find something else that's going to bring passion to my life.
And I think, money can't buy happiness is true, but if you find the happiness first and then you get the money it just makes your life easier and it makes it better. And I think that's the beauty of what I see so many times talking to filmmakers like yourself, is that you're finding the happiness in doing it. Like, what's better than being on set when you're doing your film?
I'm more comfortable on myself. I'm like the most comfortable. Even when things go wrong, I'm still comfortable. Like, okay, let's figure this out. Anywhere else, I'm like not comfortable. On set, I'm in the pocket. Like, even work with you and Window for Walter's Wish, I'm in the pocket. Even though we have to change some lines and stuff like that, I'm in the pocket. And sometimes I wish I can go back and tell my younger self, like, it's going to be fine. Like, trust me, it's going to work out. It may not work out the way you thought it was going to work out, but it's going to work out. And so anytime I'm on set, and even as an actor, because I remember there was a high school drama teacher that kind of laughed, that I was like, I want to be an actor in Hollywood. And he just like, Glenn wants to be in Hollywood. And he just laughed. And that crushed my dreams as an actor. So for years, I just wrote and direct. So, like, just recently I started doing the acting thing, and next I'm getting auditions and I'm getting cast, and I'm going, wow, I wish I could go back in high school and tell my younger self, it's going to be fine.
Telling your younger self. And there was, I don't know, there was anybody in your family, in your household that was in this business in any way?
My parents, they did plays for their church when they were younger, and their early years of being married and stuff like that. My mom was a model at the one time. Wow. My dad played in the jazz band and plays the trumpet and everything. So so that whole, my grandfather played the bongos and stuff like that. So there was always that arts thing in our family. But I think I'm the only one that wanted to like really pursue film and stuff like that, acting. So
did you ever think? Because sometimes I have these thoughts too when I'm so passionately pursuing what I'm pursuing, and I go, should I have pursued something more important than entertaining? Like, we fall in love with this aspect. I grew up watching the Dean Martin roasts and all those guys having fun and all that banter and and it was like, you want to be part of that, but then you go, well, people that became doctors or policemen or they're doing things that are so much better for society. Sometimes I'm like, even this point where I'm still continuing to pursue it, is it
sometimes I ask myself, like, am I turning 41. I'm not married. I don't have kids. How long can I keep doing this? You know, am I lying to myself? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to work. But at the same time, it's like, nothing else brings me passion. You know what I'm saying? It makes me happy than being on set, working with actors, pitching ideas, talking to you, going to a film festival. I'm in my element.
Right.
Everything else is cool at my job and everything, family life and everything. But when I'm on set, it's like I'm in the pocket.
Right.
So that in the pocket feeling like, okay, I'm supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? So even last time I'm editing the movie and stuff like that, even sometimes it's frustrating. I'm in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can figure it out. Now, if you ask me to fix my car, I'm horrible at it. You know what I'm saying? But if you give me a movie to edit that looks, it's not, shot right, I can sit down and I can work through it and I can put it together. So I'm in my pocket when I'm on set. So,
and again, you're climbing a mountain. So, you may make that film that influences or touches people in a way. Like, think about all the movies in history that have influenced us so heavily. So I guess that is kind of the top of the mountain. It's like, if you do something, because then you're satisfying both. You're satisfying your dreams and your passions, but you're also doing something that
meaningful.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, even what you're doing is meaningful with the Nyliff Film Festival. You know what I'm saying? It helps. There's so many guys, including myself, that needed outlet, needed a platform. And when we go there, it's not like a lot of film festivals where it's very stuffy and I'm an artist and I don't talk to anybody. Everybody's talking to each other. Everybody's networking with each other. And I've met people that I would never have met if I didn't go to Nyliff or even become a filmmaker and everything. So it's really the relationships too. It's the people who you meet. And if I was super famous, I probably would never met the people I met now and have the relationship that I have. I don't know if I'll even be happy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm very happy where I'm at. I love more money. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm happy where I'm at. I was talking to George Massimillo. We had a great conversation about independent filmmaking, and this is a guy that I didn't know that lives like 15 minutes away from me. I had no idea, but I met him through your film festival.
Wow.
And I went, oh wow, and we have the same passion. And I'm like, yo, you live like 15 minutes away from me. You know what I'm saying? So. If I was super famous and I was this big celebrity, I would never met somebody like him or somebody like you or the casual crew and have these relationships. You know what I'm saying?
That's good to hear, because that's what we're most proud of. Is that's why we created it. Really, we don't have any. Katie and I talked about this from day one. We don't have any delusions about getting rich off of Nyliff. We always say we just wanted to elevate everybody.
Yeah.
We're filmmakers, we're actors as well. So we meet everybody. I mean, I don't know if we can make this announcement, but I'm going to be working with you on a project, and you're going to be working. I do want to announce that about the Fontanas, and
I'm excited.
Yes, me too. It's going to be a great role. So, and Glenn will be joining the Fontanas in an upcoming episode.
I think I won't tell the character. I think
that's okay.
I think it's a cop or FBI.
FBI. Yep. So. And it's a comedic role. The Fontanas is a comedic show. I mean, it's a serious show. It's about relationships, and there's that mob component. And when I was finishing the first season, I went, wait a second. This storyline's been going on for decades within this family. There should be an FBI component that's now going to look into what's resurfaced here. And I didn't really know where I was going with it, and I, just had the car sitting outside with the two FBI agents in it, and then, things just hit you. I don't even know if I told Ted.
Okay.
From South Shore Theater. But I had him in a scene with one of the mobsters. He was going to be the consigliere, and I was like, this way and that way on it. And all of a sudden, I went, you and he as partners.
I think we'd be good
it's
together.
Going to be great. It's going to be so, and you're both very funny. And so Ted, if you're watching, that's the role you're going to be playing. And when things hit you, and you're like, yes, and it makes it so that when you're working on other things and you don't get that feeling, you're like, nope, this is. You circle it, and I got to come back to this because I'm not getting that. Feeling.
That's you're in the pocket.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When you're in the pocket, even when, that's why I love Stallone. Like, this movie, Expendables. But on the DVD, it's like a 3-hour documentary of him making it. and he'll sit there on set. They'll have the lines, and the day they film, he's going, nope, we're changing this, changing that, and the scene will come even better. I'm like, he's in the pocket. So when you're doing that stuff, you're in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? So you're in your element. So even when it's not working, you're still in the pocket.
Yep. And it's such a great feeling because there's times you're completely not even anywhere near the close.
I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah. And I mean, we all go through it. When you know, it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, writing. I remember watching The Odd Couple, and this stuck with me. The Odd Couple, a TV show from the '70s. Oscar Madison was trying to write a book, and he was frustrated, and he quoted a writer. I don't remember who it was, who said, "I hate writing, but love having written."
Yeah.
And it always stuck with me
that makes
because
sense.
Sometimes I actually like writing.
Sometimes.
But sometimes it's like, I hate it, and you know you can't stop. You got to work through. Sometimes you walk away and you come back and things are clear, but sometimes you're like, no, I'm close, even though I'm far.
Yeah.
And you persevere, and you're miserable, and it's sunny out, and you want to go do something, and then all of a sudden it hits you, and you're like, I hate writing, but I love having written.
And actually, now you're writing like crazy. So I went to that even with Stall Buddies. I'm sitting there trying to put it together, and then I walked away for a little bit, and I'm driving, and I'm not even thinking about it. All of a sudden, this idea, and I'm like, that's it. And I'm like, so now I had to pull over and grab my phone and type the idea before I lose it, and I couldn't wait to get into the office with my laptop and start typing. So I know how that feels.
Because even when you're driving, you're not thinking about it. There's a part of your brain that you can't turn off.
You can't turn off. What's your writing process? Do you like write with the TV on, the music, or you have to be like?
I don't have a specific writing process, whether the music's like, I can do it if music's on or TV's on. If I'm in the zone, I'll have the baseball game on, I'll have the volume low or something. But I have to be in the zone. I think a lot before I actually write.
Okay.
So I always use a stove as an example because I'll be working on the Fontanas. I'm trying to work on my novel for the Mark sequel and things like that. And they're all in my head. Right. But one of them is on that big burner on the stove.
Okay.
You always have the biggest burner on your stove, and then you got the smaller one. You got two little guys in the back.
Okay, that's a good.
So there's other projects that are on those, but sometimes they force their way into the front. You drive in your car, and you get this thought.
Yeah.
So, it's like stand-up comics we were talking earlier. Once they start doing what they're doing, you keep a pad next to their bed. They get up, they wake up with
hit a pad, and he's like crossing out the jokes.
You can't turn it off. So my writing process is basically think. Like when I started season 2 of the Fontanas, I realized season 1 was a lot easier because it was something I was thinking about for years.
Gotcha.
When I concluded it, it sort of concluded those thoughts.
Right.
And now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start working on season 2, and I looked and said, what the hell happens in season 2?
Yeah, right.
I have to go back to square one and start thinking.
Right.
And you start playing it through your head. You drive it in the car. The bad part is sometimes someone's having a conversation with you, and you're like, what? Yeah. Can you repeat what you just said?
I had that moment. Yeah,
I was in Fontana land.
Yeah, I'm thinking about working this movie called Half-Ass Killers. We played the 2 worst hitmen ever, and we got out. Before we retire, we're gonna try to have a successful hit and all these crazy ideas. And I remember somebody was talking to me, and my brain, I hear them talk, I see them, but my brain is trying to put it together. So, but that's the nature of the beast, like you said. We can't turn it off. So it's like money can't change that, fame can't change that.
Right.
I could be watching a movie and I'm looking at it and I see the movie for what it is, but at the same time I'm breaking it apart at the same time. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Our industry is ruined just sitting down and watching a movie.
Yeah.
And I have friends of mine now that have worked with me. They're not in the industry, but they come to the set or whatever, and they say I've ruined movies for them too.
You start breaking it down,
yeah. So, all right, so you sent me a trailer for Screamwalkers. I think we should cut to that now and take a look at it.
All right.
Everyone's a suspect.
Even you?
Yes.
You don't have anything to go off of. You have nothing.
I got something. It's not a lot, but it's a start.
That detective isn't going to solve who's killing us. We're going to have to do it ourselves.
confession!
Well, that was really cool looking, and you know, I mean, the trailer looks great, but you do have a certain look. You have that, and we'll call it. Some people, when you see films, you're like, okay, there's a guy making a film, and some people have a look that you could see in the Hollywood movie.
Oh, thank you.
So you definitely have that, and I've seen you a lot before we got to work together. I think what was it? Supply and Demand was the first one that you had sent. Did you like being in front of the camera, behind the camera, or is it equal?
I like directing more. I love acting, stuff like that, because it's a challenge. It's more exposed. You know what I'm saying? You have to really sell it. With directing, I can work with actors and everything. But you know, with Robert Townsend being one of my industry heroes, he's in front of the camera, he's behind the camera. Even still, guys like Stallone, you know, they write, act, direct. So I get the same enjoyment as directing as would be acting. I love acting in other people's films because I'll write a role for myself, but I know my strengths. So I know how I would say it. When somebody else gives me their script, okay, now I have to kind of become that character and become what they want. So now it's more of a challenge, stuff like that. It's not, you know, I know how I would say it, but if the director goes, no, try like this, then, you know, I'm the actor, I'm not the director of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different. So I like acting in other people's movies. And
again, we were talking off screen about this industry and how it's changing, and you know how we're doing our own work, but also where this industry is going and how everybody's sort of selling their souls, trying to get into an industry that's kind of collapsing.
Yeah. It's you know, from the scandals, from also the stuff with the streaming stuff, and we had the actor strike and the writer strike and everything. It's collapsing. So, you know, I think when it comes to selling your soul part, it's just kind of like, so you're gonna do all this just to get a speaking role? You're gonna you know, you're gonna sleep with this person or lie or steal just for a part that you don't know what's gonna happen with your career and everything, and you're gonna base your fame and career, that's gonna be the foundation. So it's gonna collapse. If that's your foundation, it's gonna collapse sooner or later. It
seems like Hollywood used to function, I know it's always been a money industry, but it used to function more on the level of art.
Yeah.
It seems like that's gone out the window, and now there's just a machine trying to make money.
Yeah.
And everybody's begging to get into this machine, but at the same time, you have stuff going on that we don't want to talk about, like politics. And whether it's good, bad, or whatever you support, I don't really care. But when a guy like De Niro gets involved with politics and comes out and starts ranting and raving, it turns people off. So it's destroying an industry. Whatever the cause of it, it's not really, you know, obviously what we want to talk about, but you have to recognize when something's being destroyed. There's all the talk, you know, things are woke and things are, and I look at it and I go, okay, there's probably always been some kind of an agenda. There's always been, you know, Jimmy Stewart and Henry Fonda, and these guys had their political issues, but it wasn't so pronounced. It wasn't so. Star Trek always had episodes that had a political story. It could be related to something, but it wasn't smacking you in the face.
Well, it's because I think now with social media, everybody has a phone, everybody has an Instagram account, everybody has a podcast, everybody, you know, you could take your phone and set up and talk about what you feel, what you don't like, and it can go viral. A movie that from the 1960s, a scene that somebody don't like, hey, cancel this guy. He did that movie in the 60s. Like, he's almost 80 years old. You're gonna cancel him now? It's like, so it's like everybody's scared. Everybody doesn't want to get canceled. And then on the same thing, now these studios just want to make money. So it came off.
No, it's good.
So they just want to make money. So it's like, you know, we're gonna reboot another movie. You know, it's like, so you're gonna reboot the reboot that you already rebooted. How about get a fresh new script, new story from a new talent? No, they won't do that. They don't want to take the gamble. Like, this is, and they know we're gonna watch it. They know that we're gonna watch a new Predator. They know we're gonna watch a new RoboCop. They know we're gonna watch a new Alien. They know that.
Well, I follow your posts, and you had posted about the new Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
And also Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Now both of those, did Beverly Hills Cop come out yet?
No, it comes out July 3rd. I wrote it down. So
July 3rd, right. And right, it's July 3rd.
It's July 3rd.
And of course I'll watch it.
Yeah, they know we're going to watch it.
I mean, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover are both kind of old now.
I'll still watch it.
We're going to watch it.
We're going to watch to see what in the world they're going to do at this age. Blah, blah, blah. They know we're going to watch it. But something new and fresh, you know, the Fantanas is a fresh idea. You know, Store Buddies, or, you know, all these George movie, William Poet, there's all these fresh ideas they'll overlook and going, hey man, just some fresh ideas. No, it's a money machine.
Right.
You know, especially with the Fast and Furious franchise, which I love, but they do great overseas. So they think about that as well, like the overseas market and stuff like that. So they're going to keep doing that, you know what I'm saying?
Which I think is a huge part of the industry now. Yeah. They almost don't care about movies here.
No, it's
they're going to make all their money overseas.
Yeah.
And you do get a feeling though with something like Beverly Hills Cop and Lethal Weapon that they're going to stick to the genre. Where Indiana Jones, I didn't even bother to see this last one.
I started and I was just like, there's something missing.
Right.
I didn't know what it was. I enjoyed it, but it didn't give me that feeling like the old ones did. When I watched Indiana Jones, I wanted to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? I walked away humming the theme music and stuff. It was great to see everybody back together again, but it was just kind of like, I didn't really need it at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
And although I didn't see it, you see enough of it. You almost watch movies in pieces now because there's so much YouTube coverage you can like piece it together. And it just seems like it just wasn't, like you said, it's not that he was old. It just seemed forced.
Yeah, I think they're like, hey, you know, there's, you know, everybody's doing these sequels now. You got Beverly Hills Cop 4, you got Lethal Weapon, you got Bad Boys. They're like, hey, let's do Indiana Jones. Let's get on this. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, so I don't know. But it's a money thing. Like I said, they know we're gonna watch it.
Right.
I did, you know what I'm saying? I went to buy my movie ticket and go see it, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, it's, you know, but at the same time, Hollywood is losing its, I don't know, it's that feeling, that magical feeling, like the Oscars, I don't watch it.
No.
I used to love watching the Oscars as a kid and as an adult. Now it's like, okay. I don't need to see it.
I think that so many things have evolved and at the same time devolved. It's like, we were talking about the roasts before, the Dean Martin roasts. Yeah. I grew up watching that stuff, and the double entendres and the hidden jokes and the things that I sat there with my parents watching that I didn't get.
Right. Yeah.
And now, you know, like there was just a recent roast, Tom Brady, and right, and I've seen clips of it, and it is very funny. But there is a part of me that just wishes it was more like the old days.
Yeah.
I saw a video recently of Martin Short and Steve Martin on stage.
Oh, wow.
And they are hysterical.
Right.
And it was completely clean, but it was hysterical.
Right.
So it proves to me, you know, Eddie Murphy, I was a big Eddie Murphy fan, but I always said Eddie Murphy was funny because when he went on the Tonight Show, he was funny.
Yeah, his first Tonight Show appearance, I think he's like 1920. Like, he's just well put together. He just...
Right.
And it's like at 1920, I couldn't do that at 1920. At 1920,
it's amazing.
It's amazing. But yeah, he was clean. But he's you're funny if you're clean. If you're funny, you're funny. So you can be funny, clean, funny, dirty. But if you're only funny, dirty, then you're not really funny.
Exactly.
Really funny. You know what I'm saying?
So it's not that I'm a complete prude and like, right. But be funny first.
Right. Like Rodney Dangerfield is funny. You know what I'm saying? You know, and he was clean. He wasn't dirty. So he was like right on the, even Sinbad. Like you watch Sinbad's old stuff. Like he's edgy, but he's not cursing, but he's so funny. So,
right.
Jim Carrey's funny. You know, he's not dirty, but he's just funny.
And it was always fun when I would watch like stuff when I was a kid, and then you would see guys like Buddy Hackett. You know, I don't know if you remember Buddy Hackett. He was a chubby comedian. He talked like he had marbles in his mouth, and I remember watching him as a kid in movies. There was a movie Ever see the movie Mad World?
Yeah, I looked way back in the day.
Everybody in it.
I've never seen the poster, and that caught my attention.
You should watch that movie. It's got everybody who was ever in Hollywood back in the day. And I remember one day when I got older, I saw a clip of Buddy Hackett in like Vegas, completely filthy, cursing and stuff, and it was like, oh my God.
Bob Saget was like that. Rest in peace.
Right.
He was like that. Like, I didn't know that. And so I saw him doing stand-up. I'm going, that's the same guy from Full House? Like, in American Home Videos? Like, he's dirty. He was still funny, but it was just like, wow, okay.
Did you ever see that film, The Aristocrats?
No.
It's got all the, it's a movie about comedians for comedians.
I gotta check this out.
Check it out, and you'll see a lot of clips from guys like, what's the guy who died? Iago from...
Oh yeah, yeah. I gotta check that out. Okay.
What's his name?
Why don't talk like this? I see his face. Right, I see his face. I know you talk like. I gotta check it out.
He's pretty funny. It says filthy stuff that you never heard them say. Bob Saget is another terrible tragedy that seems a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fell and hit his head or something. Or,
I don't know.
I don't know how these.
Certain things I'm like, you kind of go. Okay.
And that's the other thing, it's like we struggle to make it in this business, but at the same time, in the back of your mind, you realize, I could fall and hit my head, and it's all over tomorrow. So enjoy it.
Enjoy it, And we're losing a lot of stuff, and that's another thing. We're losing a lot of like big names, and it's like people we grew up with. Like Matthew Perry. I love Friends, and I love Food Russian and stuff like that. We're losing him. We just we see like Bruce Willis. He's he's dwindling, stuff like that. His health and everything. You're watching these guys that you grew up watching, and they're passing away, and you're kind of going, well, who's the next big major stars? Who's the next Bruce Willis? Who's the next, Arnold Schwarzenegger? Who's the next Meryl Streep? It's all these, TikTok stuff and, Instagram stuff and little sketches. Like, okay, that's great, but where's the magic feeling we used to watch?
It doesn't seem. It's like Hollywood progressed for decades, and now it just went.
Yeah, I think I think once the money grab stuff and they kept rebooting stuff, it starts and then I think even a lot of people became political. You know what I'm saying? Like you have your views, which is cool. You have your views and stuff like that. But the Oscars should just be the Oscars. You should go on stage and I don't like this guy. I don't like this. It's not for. It's about the power of movies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think we got to go back to telling good,
original stories,
somewhat clean stories.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to all be. I watched a movie the other day, The Final Countdown with Kirk Douglas.
Okay.
And they went back in time. They were on an aircraft carrier. And the one thing that grabbed me was the opening of the movie. I'm like 20 minutes in, and they were like introducing all the characters, but there was no big grab you by the nuts action sequence.
Right.
The movie just started and introduced things, and it built.
And it builds up, yeah.
Was it a great movie? No. It was just okay, but it seems like every movie now has to grab you right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And it's all like I guess that TikTok mentality.
It's that.
And I understand, like a James Bond movie always started with an action sequence, but it made sense. This was an action movie. It doesn't all have to start that way. We can go back to writing stories, but again, like I said, it's a money machine.
You have to get them in the seats.
And I don't think anybody really knows how to do that right now. How to get people into the movie theaters.
I mean, I go here and there, but now with this, there's so many options now. So I think what was hurting is like the movie will come out, and a month later it's on DVD and digital. So I'm like, well, I don't have to go. It'll be here. I could buy it in 2 weeks, so I don't have to go there. So. And
then you don't see it.
Right.
When it's on DVD, like. I know, like, the Planet of the Apes movie that just came out. I was going to go see it in the theater. I don't even know if it's still in the theater.
I think it's gone.
Probably gone.
Yeah.
And then you don't know where to find it. And then 6 months from now, you're like, okay, let me see if I can find it. And it's on a streaming thing that you don't have.
Right. And you got to buy that.
Now forget it.
You, forget about it. And I think the streaming thing and the whole thing with... I remember I went to see the last Fast and Furious. I loved it. No, I just like those big action. I could turn my brain off, like, okay, this is going to be over the top. I know. So let me just turn my brain off and just enjoy it. A week later, it was on HBO Max. I was like, well, I didn't have to leave the house.
Right.
I could have watched it home, and that's the thing. So I could watch it at home, pause it, go sleep, watch the rest. So. And
then you're losing the movie theater experience.
Yes.
Because you're younger than me, but movies used to be in the movie theaters for a year.
Yeah, I remember they would tell me about that.
It was like.
Yeah.
And it was so nice to have it there.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, well, what the younger generation is really doing with their time?
They're not. I mean, they watch movies on their phone, but it's like they'll watch clips. Like like even like I'll tell them about like an old movie. Instead of going and watch the old movie, they'll watch like a YouTube guy that breaks movies down, and he'll give them like a summary in 20 minutes. They'll watch that. They won't watch that.
They won't watch the movie.
Yeah, they won't watch the actual movie.
That's very true, and I've fallen guilty to that. I got a half-hour drive to work every day.
Yeah.
I'll pull up YouTube and listen to it on the way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a movie that came out. Let me listen to it. And then you feel like you've seen it.
Yeah. You haven't really seen it. You kind of just.
I've noticed on some of the streaming services when you want to watch a movie and it says watch the trailer. The trailer's not like a minute long. It's like 5 minutes long.
They show everything
and you
in the
watch it,
trailer.
you go, I feel like I just watched the movie.
I mean, I went to see. I'm not gonna say the name of the movie, but I went to see the trailer, and when I went to see the movie, I was like, everything that this movie's about was in that trailer. Like, why did you guys do that?
I don't know what's going on.
Like, I was like, why would you show everything in the trailer? And we're movie guys, so we could watch the trailer, and I can go, that's the killer right there.
Right.
And you can watch the movie, yeah, that's the killer. Why? It's the way they shot it and moved the camera and everything. I know, because that's what I would have done.
Yep.
And you go, I bet she's the killer. Yep, got it. So I don't know why they're doing that. But again, they know we're still gonna see it.
Yeah.
So that's the trick. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna show you everything, but I bet you're still gonna go in the theater or go to streaming and buy it, pay for it, and watch it.
Yeah.
So they still won at the end of the day.
And then again, we get like we're sitting here making all these valid points.
Right.
But I would imagine each decade it's going to get harder and harder to keep an audience engaged because everything's been done before.
Yeah.
Everything's been done a certain way before. So we're running out of ideas. So it's almost logical to go back to the well.
Yeah.
Because, like, Star Trek's a good example. They keep making these prequels because they want to grab the Kirk and Spock and Picard audience. And it's like, well, if they go into the future and they invest millions of dollars and people don't grab on because they want to grab the older people and hopefully some of the younger people, but if they go with something new,
right?
These studio executives don't believe that, and I think they know that the creativity isn't there because, like we were talking about writing, how it takes time.
Yeah,
they're not giving it the time.
They just want to push it out.
Write something, we need it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're gonna get garbage.
Yeah.
So what do? Let's go back to the well
Right.
and keep going. That's why I say everything great's coming out on the independent level.
Yeah, I think this is going to be great for independent directors.
Yep.
I've seen some original stuff in film festivals and everything. Like, oh, this is great. You know what I'm saying? And they're fighting to get their movie on streaming. And when they do, then it's the whole marketing thing. You have to market a movie. How do I get people to watch my movie when they have 150 options? What's going to make your movie stand out? And that's another fight. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and the mathematics of the business. I mean, when there's 10 movies and 200 million people, you're gonna have 20 million people watching each movie. You're gonna make money. Now you've got millions of movies and you've got a shrunken audience.
Exactly.
So people have stuff out there that a small pocket of people are watching.
Yeah.
So are we making this business something that's never going to be profitable again, unless you are that big studio that controls it on that big level?
Right.
Are we just creating a business like opening a corner deli? You're going to make a living.
Right.
So are we creating that kind of a business where we're going to make movies, maybe make a living, but all of this, I'm going to be a movie star or my film is going to take the world by storm? Is it mathematically becoming impossible?
I think if you don't have a big superstar, it's gonna be really tough. Even with a big superstar, it's still tough
because they don't exist anymore, like you were just saying.
You know what I'm saying? We only have a few left, and it's kind of like, I know kids that don't know this major actor, but they know this TikTok kid.
Yeah.
And this TikTok kid has 150 million followers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He doesn't need a studio. He goes, Joe, I do everything in my house. I don't need you guys.
Has the movie star been replaced by the influencer?
Yeah, 100%.
That's scary.
Even with, if they don't like your movie, they can say that and it can hurt. Like Rotten Tomatoes. I love Rotten Tomatoes, but if they give you a bad review, people go, well, I'm not watching it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it started with the two guys, Roy, the two movie
Siskel and Ebert?
Yeah, thank you. And it was like, they were like influencers a little bit. If they didn't like a movie, and they gave 2 thumbs down, like, well, then I'll wait. If they said 2 thumbs up, okay, I'm going to see it. So They were the first ones.
It's funny you bring up those guys because I remember being a kid and a movie would come out. I'd grab Newsday.
Right.
And I read the reviews.
I'll read what they say or watch. They had like a little show as a kid. I used to watch it and they give it 2 thumbs up. But sometimes they were super wrong. I'm going. It was incredible.
The movie that changed it for me, and I know I'm a big Star Trek guy. I bring it up, but Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. I remember the TV, the review in Newsday said it's just an overblown TV episode, and they gave it like 2.5 stars.
Right.
And I remember then I saw it and I was like, this is the greatest movie of all time. Yeah. Like at that point in my life, I was like, The Wrath of Khan was great.
It's a great movie.
And I look at that now and I go, but it kind of is an overblown TV episode. Right. We watched the TV show. Khan came from the original show.
Right.
This was Khan returning, and it was an overblown TV episode. But it had a negative connotation. So I'm not listening to these guys anymore.
Right.
It was 1983, I think that movie came out. So what was I? 17, and that's where you get smart, and you're not like, I'm not going to listen to people.
Yeah, everybody has their own taste. Like I love the Fast and Furious franchise. I know it's over the top. I know it doesn't make sense. I know there's no way a car can fly over a mountain and they get caught in a rope and swing to. I know this. I don't care. I just want to. They went to space. They put a rocket. Rockets in the back of the car and went to space. I know that's dumb. But hey, I'm gonna watch it. I just I like the experience.
It's supposed to be escape.
Yeah, it's an escape.
Movies have always been that.
That would never happen. Of course not. You think Rocky would actually beat Apollo in real life? No, Apollo Creed would kill him. But
hey, I don't know about that.
That's a debate we always have. But it's like who cares? It's a great escape. It
was a southpaw, come on.
But it's not even Rocky the character. I love the Rocky character, but I love his emotional conversation he has with his wife. And the stuff he says, like he says in the first one, I just want to go the distance. That's every guy.
Absolutely.
So it's not about the fight, it's his character. It's like, I just want to go the distance. I just want to show everybody I'm not a bum from the neighborhood. I'm going.
Right.
That's every guy. Black, white, rich or poor. We just want to show, can we go the distance?
Yep.
So
it's an inspiration. It's giving hope and possibility that bum from the neighborhood.
Right.
I always say one of the things that keeps me going with this is having children. And I see my daughters seeing me making films and doing whatever, and one of the biggest reasons I want to make it is so that they see that I never gave up.
Right.
That I kept going and kept creating and kept doing whatever. And then once you make it, pass on to them that it's not just about how much money. It's going the distance. It's getting there. It's climbing that mountain.
Yeah.
The money, if somebody gives me $5 million for the Fontanas tomorrow, I always say I'm going to put $5 million in the bank.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go make my next project.
Right.
Will it have a little more money behind it? Sure.
Exactly.
But what's going to change once you find what you should be doing?
Exactly.
And that's what I think that Rocky movie is about.
Yeah.
This is what he should be doing.
And even Stallone with his life, when I was watching a documentary on Netflix, and he got a point in his career when nobody wanted to work with him. He was like, you're a has-been, whatever. And he did the Expendables. And he was like, I did it to show my kids, what I'm saying, what I do. Because they didn't even know what he did. They're like, you're a movie star, you're an actor? And he shows his kids, and then Expendables. But I think the one that I love is Rocky Balboa, the one he comes back. That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one because I love the dialogue between him and his son. He's outside and just, that's my favorite. I watch that like back to back.
I always say it's just, to me, because Rocky was the first.
Yeah.
Rocky has a special place, but a notch below it is Rocky Balboa. That movie, and I remember when it was coming out, it's like, he's making another one?
Yeah, it was like, what is he going to do?
Especially if the Rocky 5 wasn't good.
That's the one that he's in he goes to the neighborhood. Yeah. I think even he knew that, like, this is not my best one. I have to go back to the well.
Yes.
And he actually said that in the documentary. He goes, I had to go back to the well, and I had to start from scratch again. But I think for all of us artists, we have to go back to the well. We have to go back from scratch, and we do it constantly. Like, even if you get cast in a new movie, you're back at the bottom again.
Right.
You may have this great success with this movie, and everybody love your performance, but this new project, you're back at the bottom. You have to learn your lines. You have to build a character. You have to sell it, and you're back at the bottom again.
And you have to ignore the noise. Like Angela Parker always says.
Yeah, I love it.
Ignore the noise.
Yeah,
you know, it's just noise.
Yeah, and you just have to get out your head.
Yep.
You have to get out your head.
And I love having these conversations. I could sit here and talk with you all day long. And once you're with people that get it and understand, and so I want to wish you a lot of luck with all of these projects. I'm looking forward to Nyliff this year.
Yeah, me too.
And obviously, I know Stall Buddies. I can't really give any information.
I'll talk about it a little bit. I'll give you a little plug.
Mention what you got going on.
It's a comedy. It's a very, very wacky type comedy. Stall Buddies, starring myself, Brandon Brass, Beth Tucker, Jenna, and my best friend Kyle Grant, and also my best friend Brandon Brass. It's about two guys become best friends sitting on opposite sides of the stall, and it just starts from there. It actually from like a real life situation. I was at the stall, and this guy sitting at the stall next to me. We both have to use the bathroom. We both waiting, and we both get into an argument. And in the argument, we start laughing, and then we become cool. And I was like, how would that be if that actually happened and stuff like that? So it's very, very crazy. And then I have this thing called Poop Kit, and it goes around with me. Like, so if I've used a public bathroom, I have my own toilet tissue, everything, so I'm clean. And this Poop Kit becomes a big thing in the office. Everybody wants it. And it's a very weird comedy, but when you guys see it...
It was very funny. I did watch it. Thank you. Now, is this Poop Kit is a real thing in your life?
I have it, yeah. So yeah, it's just like... Because it's like, I'm just weird like that. But when I told everybody about it, like, you actually have that? Like, yeah, you got to put that in there. And then I just started from there. And now... I think we're gonna try to, as like a campaign to push the movie and promote it, so it's selling Poop Kits.
I was gonna say you have to put Poop Kits together.
About doing that. About doing that.
Definitely.
So I'm grateful for Stall Buddies, because everybody that's in Stall Buddies, I've worked with. Brandon Brass, I've known him since he was 15. He used to be a member of my parents' church, and I was going to film school, and he's like, "Yo, I want to be an actor," and I was like, "Hey, once I graduate, let's work together." And the first movie he did with me was Supply and Demand. He played a young Keith in the comic book store and stuff like that. And then we have Stall Buddies, and then we have another movie coming out called Pull Out. It's a Christmas comedy, rom-com, about a guy that gets his wife and mistress pregnant at the same time, and we all find out at this Christmas dinner. That's where we got the title Pull Out. And then it's a very edgy Christmas comedy. We have that, and then I have Bite Night. The script, so you're in Bite Night, so we working.
I'm excited about that.
As a vampire action Christmas movie, it's kind of like Reindeer Games meets From Dusk Till Dawn, and it's good. It's starring myself, Brandon Bass, Beatrice from the Freddy Krueger franchise and everything. She's going to be in that as well.
Okay.
So,
is there any place where anybody can look up your? Is there a website or?
I'm working on the website. I have my IMDb and Facebook, but I'm getting ready for, because once Supply and Demand's done with the film festivals, I'm gonna put Supply and Demand all the episodes online, and then everything else I've done. So right now, just Instagram and Facebook and IMDb, but just working. So I'm just grateful because everybody you see me from Supply and Demand, well, even before that, Traffic Cops, which I'm gonna release and everything. That's my thesis film. Mm-hmm. Everybody from that to now, I've worked with them. So we've been together for like 10 years together. It's a friendship, 10 to 15 years. A lot of guys that's in my projects I went to film school with, and we became really good friends. They're like, hey, let's just work together and see how we make it. So
it's good.
So I'm excited.
Everybody keep your eyes open for Glenn Mcbride Jr. You're definitely, everybody who's been on the show so far, I feel like they all have what it takes to get there.
Thank
you. And at Nyliff, we always just want to see everybody get there. Get where you want to go, where you're saying, I made it to the top of the mountain.
My goal is to get there, but then reach back. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I want to do, like I said, like what Adam Sandler does. Even Kevin Hart, he built his company to help his friends, to help people. Like, I just want to build something like, hey, Gerry, Fontana's, I got this budget, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Jimmy, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I want to do that. So that's always been on my heart since I was doing stage plays. So I just want to make it.
Because I'm sure, we all have this thought. if the Fontanas goes and they said, hey, come out to California, and I picked up all my stuff and left, there's a part of me out there that now would be doing this. It's making money,
right?
But I left everybody behind.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
You don't want to, like, when you envision yourself in that situation and you go, okay, now you're out there, you're driving a Rolls Royce or whatever you're doing, are you going to be happy?
No, and
so many people, like you were talking about Schwarzenegger, he made it and now he's alone and he's old, and we're all going to get there.
Yeah.
That vehicle means nothing. Doing this with people that we
love,
enjoy, and that we love hanging out with and working with and care about.
The biggest currency is relationships.
Yep.
Friendship. You know, money.
Absolutely.
The biggest currency is your friendship. Like I had a situation where there was a project, and they're like, yeah, but you got to cut this guy out, a friend of mine. And I was like, and they were doing stuff behind his back. I'm like, well, if you cut him loose, I'm walking.
Right.
So what are we going to do? Like, well, bye. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, you do that? I'm like, I'm not going to do a project where I have to step over somebody and think they're not going to do that to me, or think that's not going to happen to me. No, I'd rather walk away. I'll start from scratch. And I think if we do that early now, when that time comes, when it's the big paycheck, you won't overlook your integrity, because you've been doing that. You know, you've been sticking to your guns from day one.
Yeah. So October 16th through the 20th, and you know, we're looking forward to it, and having everybody together again. And it's literally, it's like a family reunion every year. You know,
it's like a high school reunion.
And it comes so quick.
It comes
so quick every year. It's amazing. But thank you for being on the show and coming out here and putting up with the noise and the lawnmowers and the cars passing by. And another thing that we filmmakers have to put up with. I mean, filming outside and yeah. So I said,
grass.
A little challenge. We'll go outside. So it was too nice to sit inside.
It
was a pleasure.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure, Gerry.
Good luck with everything, and we'll catch you on the next Nyliff podcast. My guest next time is going to be Robert Monahan. So looking forward to that as well. Catch you guys on the next show. Take care.
Take care.